Here at Yafa, we take pride in bringing you fine Palestinian produce of the highest quality, all sourced from pure Palestinian farms. Yafa proudly sponsors For the Love of Food, only on Islam Channel. Visit yafa.co.uk for our full range.
The oyster only reveals its pearl when it has matured to a perfect form, a perfect beauty. White pearl only reveals its basmati when it is matured for over 12 months to give you the perfect aroma, the perfect taste. White pearl basmati, matured to perfection.
Award-winning chef and author of Perfectly Easy Indian Food, Shahnaz Ayub, brings you a cooking show dedicated to global cuisine because it's all for the love of food.
I'm Shahnaz Ayub, and for me, it's all about easy cooking. Comfort recipes that you can cook at home, when you have time and when you haven't. Mouth-watering meals shouldn't take that long to make. Assalamu alaikum, hello and welcome to For the Love of Food. I'm your host Shahnaz Ayub and I'm going to take you on a culinary journey around the world with amazing feasts and flavours. And if that isn't enough, I'll be joined by two special guests per week, and today is no exception. My first guest is a media queen. Her career spans over 10 years in TV, radio and theatre. She is none other than Yasmin Khan. Welcome Yasmin. Walaikum assalam. Thank you for coming on my show. Have a seat. This is my lovely kitchen. And how are we today?
Very good. I'm excited about this. Do I get to mainly eat?
No, you get to mainly cook. And also joining Yasmin is another guest. If you enjoy reality TV and are hooked to Desi Rascals, then you will have no problem recognizing my next guest. She is Yasmin Karimi. Assalamu alaikum, Yasmin. Welcome. Have a seat next to Yasmin. Yasmin. Now this is going to be very confusing today because we have Yasmin and Yasmin, but I've figured out the way to differentiate this. You are Yasmin and you are Yasmin. So we'll refer to you as Mean and Min. So how are you both today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Ready to cook?
Ready to watch.
Ready to watch and ready to cook. Well, not only will you be helping me out, but also you will be taking part in the roti challenge, and we have named this How Round Is Your Roti Challenge. So you will both be given 2 hot skillets, 2 rolling pins, and you have to just roll out and see who comes out with the roundest roti, but that's right at the end. In the meantime, I'm going to take you on a journey to Morocco. We're going to be making, on the menu today, we have harissa chicken, dill rice, and roasted Mediterranean vegetables. So guys, we have here a baby chicken who's been sliced into half. And the reason why I've done that, first of all, I've used a baby chicken. This is about quick, easy, fast approach to cooking, as well as it being very, very tender, soaking up the flavors really well. So we're gonna just keep that on the side and we're gonna marinate that in some spices. And the spices that we're using, first of all, let me introduce you to this one. Now this one's available in most supermarkets now. It's called harissa paste. And harissa paste is made up of chilies, peppers, cumin, garlic, and it's basically pickled. It's a North African spice which sets any meat alight but really has a fantastic effect on chicken. So we're going to add to that also some paprika for color, some chicken seasoning, garlic powder, cumin, salt and pepper as usual, some apricots, because in North African cooking, one thing that they love is dry fruit with their food. And it goes so well with the meats as well. So we're going to be just bringing all these flavors together, because when we think about Morocco, we think about spice.
I was thinking holiday.
Okay. Yes, but while we're on holiday, we enjoyed that. One thing I know about Morocco is that it is the home of spice, because so much of it is homegrown and their flavors are amazing. They concentrate on flavor, aroma, and spice. And these three things come together to make amazing dishes of that country. And it's really about what that country has to offer. They have got such an exchange of cultures over the centuries that it is a mixture of what we would call Mediterranean, Berber, and Andalusian. And it's come up with these amazing flavors. So let's start then. Right, Yasmin, you seem to be mean. You seem to be closer to me, so we're going to get you to start with the chicken. Are you okay handling?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Min, if you pass me the bowl over there, I'm going to start her with the marinating. Okay, so you're going to put the chicken in first,
Right.
and then with that, you're going to use this teaspoon to just put a few bit of the spices in. So you put the chicken in first.
And skin on.
Skin on, yes, we're
all
going to use
going
the
in.
skin on. Oh God, yeah, nothing like the skin on.
Okay.
That adds to the crispiness, yeah. Yasmin, you like the skin, don't you? Because, I mean, it does add to the crispiness. It's a bit indulgent,
Yeah.
but look, it doesn't matter.
So, how much of all of these?
Right, so we're going to put the harissa paste in first. Let's put 2 teaspoons of that, 2 heaped teaspoons of the harissa paste in.
2 of those.
Yeah, let's be quite generous with that.
That's quite generous.
That is generous. And then to that we're going to, okay, so the paprika, put 1 teaspoon in. That adds a bit of the aroma, and also it gives a nice earthy colour as taste as well. A tiny bit of the chicken seasoning. So I would probably put 1/4 of a teaspoon of that in. It just adds a little bit more kick to the flavour of the chicken. Because don't forget, we've got a baby chicken here.
Right.
And although the flavour is very tender, we can enhance it with that as well. Okay, so this is garlic powder. I would use probably about 1 teaspoon of that. Okay, and then we're going to go for cumin. Cumin is one of those favourite spices of mine. Isn't it wonderful? Okay, that should be enough. Cumin is a lovely flavour. It gives a nice, rounded, earthy flavour to
so good.
every single dish. And just a pinch of the salt and pepper that you can reach over and get for yourself there. So a pinch, yeah.
That much.
And a bit of the salt as well. Now, don't forget that we've also got the harissa in and the chicken seasoning that has its own salt. So
Am I
a little
doing
bit
this in a
more.
chefy way? Is it?
There is no chefy way of
There's no
doing it.
chefy
Salt
way.
is salt. Right, so Yasmin, we've got all the ingredients in now. It remains for you to mix this with your hands.
I think I'm going to have a little rinse
Go
first.
have a rinse away with your soap, and you've got a cloth there to wipe your hands with later. I'm, in the meantime, going to start with my rice, because what we're going to make here is with the harissa chicken, the roasted vegetables, that's where you come in, Yasmin. But I'm going to start with the rice, because the rice needs time to cook. Now we're going to go for dill rice. Have you ever tried dill rice? It's actually originating from Persia. It's an Iranian Farsi dish which is called over there shivid pulao. And I've introduced it to this one because I think the dill goes really well with some of the stuff that's going on here. But in Iran, the shivid pulao that they make has got the an extra garlic and the saffron going on as well, which is a lot heavier. We've got enough flavors going on here as it is, so we're going to try and make it as simple as possible, using a herb that does stand out, dill, but it complements the flavors that we've got here.
And how long would you normally sort of marinate this overnight? Would that make
Do you know, because we're using a baby chicken, we don't actually need to marinate for that long. Obviously, if you can, that's all well and good. But if you don't have time, because it's all about speed and efficiency and flavor and just getting a meal on the table when we've got such busy lives to lead, it doesn't really need it that much. Right. Let me just put a few drops of lemon juice in there
How's
too.
that?
There you go. That's it.
I feel
Right.
the need to show off my handiwork.
Nicely massaged in. Well done. Put it skin up.
That way then.
Yeah, that's fine. And that goes straight into the oven. I'll do that for you. This rice that I'm using has already been treated, so we don't need to wash it. I know people have this urge to wash rice all the time. If you wash the rice, it's already been polished. You are taking away a lot of the ingredients. And actually it breaks so easily if you do that. So it's better to just keep the rice intact. Unless it's a rice that isn't from a particularly famous make, I would use the rice and keep it intact and just add the water. So for one cup of rice, we are using 2 cups of water. So one of you can just put 2 cups in there, and then we'll put that on the boil and start that one off.
Here at Yafa, we take pride in bringing you fine Palestinian produce of the highest quality, all sourced from pure Palestinian farms. Yafa proudly sponsors For the Love of Food, only on Islam Channel. Visit yafa.co.uk for our full range.
The oyster only reveals its pearl when it has matured to a perfect form, a perfect beauty. White pearl only reveals its basmati when it has matured for over 12 months to give you the perfect aroma, the perfect taste. White pearl basmati, matured to perfection.
Right, let's start putting this on the boil. In the meantime, we've got our chopping board here. You two swap places. Min, you swap with Min. And we are going to start getting you to cut some vegetables. Now, we have the courgette, aubergine, pepper and onion. Those are traditionally your Mediterranean vegetables that you would use in a roasted vegetable dish. So if we take the courgette first, okay, and literally what we're going to do is chop the ends, and then we're going to slice down the middle, and then just use long slices like that. Make the next one quite thin, okay, and then the next one you should get about 4 slices out of that. We're then going to cover those in olive oil, salt, pepper, chili flakes and cumin, and that's all we need to do. Stick them in the oven for a few minutes. They won't take long to do, and there you have it. A little bit of olive oil goes in there, and Yasmin, your famous pinch of salt can go in there as well. Yes.
In there?
Yes. Okay, so what we're going to do next is, if you just take 1 aubergine from there, Yasmin, and just do much the same thing as you've done already.
Should I cut the end?
Yep, that should be fine. Okay, so Yasmin, if you want to just start putting all the vegetables on top of here now. Okay, you've got all that? So just pour it like this. I'll just show you. Just good.
She gets to pour. I had to do the whole.
Ah, don't worry. She's going to have her time as well. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to sprinkle this with a bit of cumin. And also on there, Yasmin, if you could just add some salt, some pepper and some chili flakes as well. Right, so this is how the chicken's looking so far. Okay. Looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can cut an onion as well. We've got the cumin on there as well already. So we're going to cut an onion. We're going to add some more.
Roasting?
That is just for
So
roasting.
does the garlic go in as well then?
The garlic will go in this one here. And that's going to go back in the oven. So on here I've got my dry fruit and I've got my garlic as well. We've got the chicken that's cooking quite comfortably,
So
and that
again,
will go
back
back
at
in.
200 degrees.
Right, so Yasmin, we can see that you are not great at slicing vegetables in the kitchen, but I do know that you are a great actress. Tell me about the reality show that you're appearing in at the moment.
Well, I've been on Desi Rascals and it's been so much fun, but I wouldn't say I'm an actress. It is reality TV.
So how is that all staged? I mean, how does that come about?
It's not really staged. Like, if I'm meeting a friend, I'll meet her on set. And then we just talk about stuff, I guess.
And that's recorded as you're having that
Yeah,
conversation?
So your life is on camera.
Yeah, I love the fact that it is the first British Asian reality TV show. And there's just so many good topics, you know, like, I don't know, just like topics that do actually exist that people are just may not be aware about.
The real thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So I think it does give a true insight on how desis are these days.
I can't believe you've managed to fit in so many talents into a decade, even more than a decade. You've worked in TV, theatre, radio.
I mean, television is not easy, as we know, but with radio, I think it's this is something really special. It's quite an intimate relationship you have with the people listening.
Yes.
Because it's just a voice and them, and you know they're there, but you can't see them, and it's. I don't know, I really enjoy it.
And that's important. We've all got to enjoy our jobs. Yeah. And also, interestingly enough, a script writer for EastEnders.
Like a cultural advisor.
A cultural advisor. So what does that mean exactly?
A lot of dramas and soaps have advisors of different sorts. Usually you'll have a medical advisor or a legal advisor. And what they're trying to do is, it's not a documentary, obviously, it is a drama, so they want to get some level of accuracy. And so as a cultural advisor, I will look at scripts and storylines. I don't have any sway over them, but I will say, okay, that kind of thing would happen, or no, you need to change that because Ramadan's coming up, that kind of thing. Or I'll go on set and help advise with, if they're doing a prayer scene, to help the actors with pronunciation and that sort of thing.
Okay, so this is the dish it's going to go on eventually. What we're going to do is we're going to plate up the rice first, then we're going to put the chicken and the vegetables, arrange them on top. We're going to cover it with a bit of fresh coriander there, just sprinkled on top, and then we're going to bash away with our pomegranate, and hopefully it's going to work. All right, so we're going to bring our rice over now, and now it's just all about plating up. It's all about presentation, guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what makes food so appetizing. Sometimes it doesn't matter how it tastes, but in my case it does. So we're just going to put the rice on first. Look at that rice, it just looks good. After you've used dill in your rice, you're going to be addicted to it. You're just going to want to use it all the time. Then we're going to put our roasted vegetables at the side.
You can use any veg, really, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I would
roast.
I would actually always go for a root vegetable because they just they cook so much better. They go very well with the carbohydrate of the rice as well, and the chicken. Root vegetables always work very well. And we'll have our peppers a bit on this side. Let's have some onion going on as well. And then last pièce de résistance, our chicken goes beautifully on top. Look at that.
I think it's the way that it was marinated. I think that's what we want.
Look at that. That just looks amazing, doesn't it? Put that lovely garlic in the middle. Let's just put some apricots around. Everyone's gone very...
You have to put the fruit in later, obviously.
Yes, because you can see what happens. Yeah. Yes, that's why we did put it in later. But it isn't burnt. It gives that illusion, but it's not. It's actually added to the sweetness even more and infused with the flavours that were already in there. And then we are going to... Right, let's go for it, Yasmin. Now, let's see if this works.
It's raining pomegranates.
It's raining pomegranates. Probably is not as much as it ought to be, but it is somewhere.
It works.
And if you just pass me that last bit of the coriander that we haven't used yet, let's just be really rustic about this. And that is just for garnish
I
on
love it
top.
when it's just you to sort of tear up the herbs like that.
Well, this is actually in its fresh form, as you can see, but the flavour it gives is just amazing. So girls, this is our finished product. This is what you and me have collectively done together to create this amazing dish. Chicken harissa set on dill rice with roasted garlic, apricots, Mediterranean vegetables, garnished with fresh coriander and pomegranate.
Here at Yafa, we take pride in bringing you fine Palestinian produce of the highest quality, all sourced from pure Palestinian farms. Yafa proudly sponsors For the Love of Food, only on Islam Channel. Visit yafa.co.uk for our full range.
The oyster only reveals its pearl when it has matured to a perfect form, a perfect beauty. White pearl only reveals its basmati when it is matured for over 12 months to give you the perfect aroma, the perfect taste. White pearl basmati, matured to perfection.
What advice would you give to any young person out there that's looking to join media?
I would say don't be lured by thinking that the word media means that something's going to be glamorous. It's about what you want to do and defining that first, and not just sort of going for any opportunity that comes, but really having a think about, you know, media is such a huge phrase and it means a lot of different things, but don't be pulled in by by just wanting exposure. Think about, is it that you want to write, or you want to act, or you want to broadcast, or what it is, and then go and learn about that industry.
Yes.
Before you start approaching people.
But really it's like anything, because of course you've come from a law background, and I know, being a lawyer as well, really the only way you truly know your place in that career is by trying different things.
When it comes to media, you can do an awful lot of sort of reading and research at home. For example, you know, if it's radio or television, I know this sounds really obvious, but start listening to the output, or start researching the station and seeing what kind of programs they do, and that way you can think, well, would it suit me? Am I interested in cookery or travel or whatever kind of, you know, I'm using telly
and personality as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I can be an actress, so for me, for being in movies, it's a total
to know yourself.
Yeah, because I can't act. But reality TV is something that I was interested in because it's not scripted.
And it allows you to be yourself.
Yeah.
And is that something that appeals to you a little bit more, rather than being a scripted situation that where you're told what to do? That it's very much like this, where we're three girls sitting in a kitchen, cooking together, having a great time. This is what life's all about. So this is more comfortable, and that's the sort of area that's more comfortable for you as well.
Definitely.
And you're right. It's good to know what you feel comfortable with. But as you were saying, you don't know until you try. So
You don't know.
work experience is a great thing to go
But
and
even like
ask.
you're a radio presenter, for me, I think that's a really tough job, because you've got to have that likable voice and just the way you speak. You can't speak in a monotone voice. It's quite technical.
Yeah.
So it's something that I know I couldn't do.
You also, you've got to know your sort of strengths and weaknesses. I also have to operate a lot of technical equipment. I'm not the expert, but I've had to learn.
You do it so eloquently, I have to say. You look like you know what you're doing.
I sort of just press things and things happen. So
Right,
what
guys.
do we have with this? Is this a grape juice?
This is a grape juice. It's a white grape juice because we're eating chicken, so I figured that white grape juice would go quite well with it.
The harissa paste is lovely.
That's wonderful.
Really
Good. And it goes very well with the rice. Have you ever had a chance to try the rice and the vegetables as well?
So tasty.
It's all coming out very well, is it? You're very happy with it.
Yeah.
Mouthful and smiling faces. That's just what I like to see.
It's just
Happy
a
results.
mix of different varied flavours, which I really like.
Excellent. Is it something you'd cook at home? Now, you've seen for
made it
yourself,
easy.
exactly, you've seen for yourself the speed, simplicity that you can cook this dish with. It didn't require a lot, did it?
No, it
So we come back after a hard day's work. This isn't difficult to do.
No.
Excellent. So after my guests have finished eating the fruits of their labour, they are going to go head to head for our roti challenge, otherwise known as How Round Is Your Roti?
oyster only reveals its pearl when it has matured to a perfect form, a perfect beauty. White pearl only reveals its basmati when it is matured for over 12 months to give you the perfect aroma, the perfect taste. White pearl basmati, matured to perfection.
Here at Yafa, we take pride in bringing you fine Palestinian produce of the highest quality, all sourced from pure Palestinian farms. Yafa proudly sponsors For the Love of Food, only on Islam Channel. Visit yafa.co.uk for our full range.